All right, we're ready to go. Let's see what happens here. All right, well, everything's buttoned up for the first test drive, just a little shakedown. I got the radiator mounted. I still need to fill that up. I temporarily have the oil cooler mounted. It clears everything, but I'm not sure I really want it down there, so for now it's fine. I got the exhaust back on. Now the only other thing I have left to do is make a clutch cable that's long enough, because I raised the handlebar position, and it may actually get raised more later, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer. This company, Venhill, I found them, and they make these heavy-duty clutch cable kits, which are pretty awesome. They come with everything you need. It's a nice, beefy, strong cable. It's nice and thick, and it comes with all of these other pieces, which will attach to the end. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and then hopefully we're going to take this thing for a rip. Alright, so I have just the sheath in here. I have this mostly all the way in, so that it gives me plenty to tension out. I have my little tensioner in down here, mostly all the way in, but not all the way in. And then I'm just going to mark the cable and then cut it off, making sure I have enough slack so that if I change the handlebar position, raise it up, I'll have enough cable. Because I don't want to buy this kit again. Alright, we got our length marked on our cable here. You want to make sure that you have everything together before you finish this thing, because if you forget something, yeah, technically you can probably get it back apart, but it's not going to be a good time. So I got everything on here. I got my tensioner, and I got my little nut, or whatever you call it, on the end. We're going to cut this cable right where I marked it, and then I'm going to flay the ends out, flare them out a little bit, open the wires up a little bit so it kind of catches, and then we're just going to solder in that gap right there. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's see what happens here. other than needing a roll bar, this thing actually handles pretty nice. Alright, well this thing has quite a bit of roll. As soon as you go to turn, it wants to roll to the outside. And once you kind of get used to it, it's not that bad, but it is awkward. And I know that a roll bar, anti-roll bar, should at least mitigate that problem pretty well. So, I've never built one before, but I know what they look like, I know what they do. We're just gonna give it a go. See what happens. Alright, well, we have a sway bar. Now I opted to use a different type of sway bar bushing. The other ones that I had that were in the last scene were really tall and they're really flexible and I didn't really like them, but I found these and they had a 1 inch diameter, inner diameter, so they fit nicely. And it's definitely doing what it's supposed to. Now, the other thing I've run into and what I've spent way too much time on is adjusting this suspension so that it will drive straight at higher speeds on the road. I took it for a couple little tests and it's kind of twitchy. And I've actually read that a lot of the three-wheeled, the Trikes, the reverse Trikes that you can buy, like the Can-Ams and stuff, are kind of similar. So it really takes some dialing of the suspension. Spent a lot of time on it so far, but we're gonna go test it again. I think I got it pretty close. So let's see what happens. All right. Yeah, it's almost like I have reverse. But I don't, because that's ridiculous. stopping and not having to put my feet down. Well, roll bar works fantastically. But we definitely got some other things to iron out. All right, we got a roll bar and it works great. Definitely, like I said before, there's a few other things I got to iron out with the whole setup of the suspension. Now, I built in a lot of adjustment to it, and I've been tweaking it, and every time you adjust one thing, you got to redo another thing. Like if you set your alignment, and you want to adjust your camber, well, you got to reset your alignment again. And I've also run into just tiny little changes causing bump steer. Take those changes away, the bump steer goes away, but you're still having little issues. So there's a lot of things that need to have attention paid to them. And I'm not going to stop until this thing rides nice down the street. Now, it's not too bad now. When we were going down the street, it was driving pretty straight, but you'd hit like a little dip in the road and it would kind of dart you one way or dart you the other, and that's a little unnerving when there's other cars on the road. Off-road, I'm sure this thing would handle flawlessly. It would be awesome. When you're on the street, you get a lot more grip, and that'll tend to pull you a little bit one way or the other. So one of the other things that I think might be affecting this, handlebar position sucks, but I have a plan for that. I have these handlebars with risers, and so I'm basically just going to make a bracket to come across on the top here, mount these on top of that. It'll give me a much better riding position, and it'll even give me a wider stance, a wider grip, which will give me better torque and I think better control. One of the other things that I think that might be affecting this is I have a little bit of camber in the wheels, and the reason I did that is for cornering. When you corner hard and fast, the outside tire or the inside tire kind of wants to lift off the ground a little bit. And I want to make sure I got a good contact patch with the outside tire, but that might be affecting the twitchiness. The other thing that might be affecting it is the way I designed the steering to make it so that the wheels turn more than the handlebars do. Well, that makes it so that from the center, little movements can move the wheels quite a bit. And so I had a feeling that that was going to be a little bit of an issue. And if I have to, I'm going to have to sacrifice being able to do a U-turn. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep playing with it. For now, I think we're going to wrap it up because, again, it's hot and I'm tired. So, get out of here. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, good. I didn't even fucking record any of that.